In a real world client environment, there could be many business requirements for creating a GL secondary ledger in addition to primary ledger. Some of the reasons could be client wants to represent the data in prime ledger using say US GAAP and data in second ledger using IFRS. So in this case, accounting method assigned to primary and second ledger might be different. Second business requirement could be client might want to represent the data in primary ledger using a calendar of say Jan to December and data in second ledger using say April to March calendar. So in this case, calendar assigned to primary and second ledger might be different. Third use case might be client might want to represent data in primary ledger using a specific currency and calendar, but want to have data in second ledger using a different currency and calendar and so on. So in this video, I'll explain you how to set up GL second ledger and what are all the different data conversion options when setting up a GL second ledger. This is Arvind Varganti and you are watching Oracle EBS and Fusion Financials videos channel. Before I get into Fusion environment and show you how to create a second ledger, let me take a use case and then explain you what are the different data conversion options available. So once I explain the entire concept, then I'll get into Fusion environment and then show you how to create a second ledger. So my use case is I have a company by name Reliance, and it has operations in US. So I have set up a Reliance USD ledger in US, and its parent company is in India, and hence it has a reporting requirements from a parent company perspective. So in US, my currency is USD, and I have a specific calendar. So this is the name of my calendar. So here I follow Jan to December calendar, and I have some subledger accounting method. But from an India perspective, my requirement is I need to have a ledger wherein my currency is different, my calendar is different, and subledger accounting method probably you can go for same or it could be different. So as I have different currency, calendar, and subledger accounting method requirements, so I cannot go for reporting currency. The only option left for me would be to go for secondary ledger. Now, when I go for second ledger, I have again four options. What kind of second ledger? Whether it should be these are all called data conversion options. So whether I need to go for subledger level second ledger, general level second ledger, balance level second ledger, or adjustment level second ledger. Now let's get into the details and understand what are all these four data conversions are about. So first we'll start with the subledger level secondary ledger. So with the subledger level secondary ledger, okay, so this is my name and this is the chart of accounts name. I mean, this is just a chart of accounts name, not the ledger name. And this is my currency, this is the calendar, and this is subledger accounting method. So if I go with this subledger level secondary ledger, I can do a detailed tracking of the subledger transactions. So in the secondary ledger, I'll be able to see all your subledger related transactions at a line level: payables, receivable, fixed assets, cost management, and so on. And I can also do a drill down from subledger level. I can go to the from subledger, from GL secondary ledger related to the subledger transaction. I can drill down and go to the corresponding subledger transaction. And if you want, I can also pass some additional adjustment entry directly in second ledger. So those doesn't exist in primary ledger, so they can be entered directly in the secondary ledger. And if I want, I can also exclude certain general sources and certain general categories to be pushed into second ledger. So that means if there are some journals which are say pushed from say subledger or for any other manual journals in the primary ledger with a specific sources, specific general category, I can go to this particular task. Again, when I show you how to create the second ledger, I'll show this particular task. So I can go to this particular task and exclude certain journal sources and general category. When I do that, the journals which are created with those journal source and general category can be excluded to be pushed into second ledger. It could be journal source from subledger, or it could be a manual journal source, or it could be any other journal source. It could be any journal from the external system. And how does the data gets pushed into second ledger? So in the case of subledger level secondary ledger, so when you run as far as subledger transactions are concerned, when you run your create accounting program in the subledger, so whether it's payables, receivables, or your cost management, the create accounting program will push the data to primary ledger as well as secondary ledger in parallel. So at the same time, it's going to push the data to primary and secondary. And for all the manual or FBDI GL journals or the journals which are imported directly into GL from other external systems, when you run your GL posting program will push those journals into the second ledger. So I can say manual FBDA journals or journals from external sources into primary GL. Okay, now let's talk about the second data conversion option, which is journal level second ledger. If you go for level second ledger, so probably this could be my name. It's the same chart of accounts as that of the primary ledger. Yeah, currency is different, calendar is different, and in the case of general level second ledger, subledger accounting method is not applicable. System allow you to enter the subledger accounting method only for the subledger level second ledger and yeah and the adjustment level second ledger. It will not allow you to enter the subledger accounting method for the general level second ledger or the balance level second ledger. Okay. Now with regard to the way journals appear in the journal level second ledger is no detailed tracking of subledger transactions are required. So drill down of subledger transactions from GL second ledger is not required or it's not possible. And if you want, you can pass some additional journal entries directly in the secondary ledger. And also, again, if you want, you can exclude certain journal sources or categories being pushed from primary ledger into the secondary ledger. And whether it's a subledger entry or manual entry or the entries which are pushed from external source into primary ledger, when you post the journals in the primary ledger, only then those journals will be pushed into the secondary ledger. So create accounting program will push the data only into the primary ledger, and when you post those journals in primary ledger, then only the journals will be pushed into the secondary ledger. That's the general level secondary ledger. And the third one is the balance level secondary ledger. So again, this is my name. The chart of accounts is same. This is the currency. This is the calendar. Subledger accounting method is not applicable. So as far as the details of the journals are concerned, no detailed tracking is not available. Drill down of subledger transactions from GL second ledger is not available. No additional adjustment entries are required. So that means you cannot even pass a direct manual journal entries in the balance level secondary ledger. And also you cannot also do any kind of an exclusions. You cannot say that, oh, I want certain journals to be excluded. So only option would be balances would be transferred from primary ledger into this balance level secondary ledgers. So it will be at a balance level. No detailed transactions will be available. And you need to run a program called transfer balances to secondary ledger process. So when you run this particular program, the program puts the data from primary ledgers into the balance level secondary ledger. And the last one is the adjustment level secondary ledger. Again, to be frank, I have not seen any client who have really used this adjustment level secondary ledger. This is a kind of incomplete accounting representation. So if you want to go for adjustment level second ledger, the only scenario where you want to go for adjustment level second ledger is basically you want to pass adjustments directly in this particular ledger. You do not want to pass those adjustments in the primary ledger. So as far as this adjustment level second ledger is concerned, so this is my chart of accounts, and the currency, calendar, and subledger accounting method should be same as that of the primary ledger. That's the condition. And you might even ask the question, oh, if that's the case, why should I even pass those adjustment entries in the adjustment only second ledger? Why can't I pass those adjustment entries directly in the primary ledger? So the main reason or one of the business scenario there could be like there could be some companies who might say that, oh, I want to pass my adjustment entries in separate ledger. I do not want to commingle them with my primary ledger. That's one scenario. And second scenario could be generally whatever I have seen is basically say now we are in September 2024, right? So September month close on 30th of September, right? So generally subledgers would be closed on the last day of the month, but generally people take time to close their general ledger for September. So in this example, my September period, GL period would be closed maybe roughly by 10th of October. The reason for that is users take some time to review all the subledger related entries, any kind of reclassifications, adjustments, and they take time and then pass those entries in the a GL. So it takes couple of days. So it could be 5 to 10 days. I've seen most of the clients, they close their GL by 10th of the next month. But if you do that, you are actually keeping that particular GL period open for everybody. All right. So one option would be, okay, on the maybe 30th of the month, once all the sub ledgers are closed, close your primary ledger, maybe call it as a soft close, and then keep your adjustment ledger, second ledger open, and give the access of this particular ledger only for certain authorized users, so they can pass those entries in the adjustment level second ledger. And from a complete reporting perspective, yes, whether you go for your FRS report or any other OTBA report, from complete reporting perspective, you can create a ledger set, and within the ledger set include these two ledgers, so that you have a complete view of the entire accounting. So that is your the main entries which are entered in your primary ledger, plus the adjustment entries, whatever is entered in adjustment level second ledger, will be appearing in the reports which are being run using that ledger set. Okay. Now in my next video, I'll show you how to create a secondary ledger. So I cannot show you all these different kinds of second ledgers. So what I'll do is I'll pick this example. So I'll try to show you how to create a subledger level secondary ledger. Thank you. Thanks for watching my video. For interesting videos on Oracle Fusion Financials, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.